broken. It's really gotten bad, you know. Alright, let's jump into this next matchup, as we do have a one that has been highly anticipated between MaxPax and Serral, best of 5. MaxPax got the better of him the other week in a little show match they played. Not sure if Serral was wanting to show everything in that series, because obviously he knew he was going to likely play MaxPax in this event anyways coming up, so there's potential to kind of doubt a little bit there, right? Not to say he didn't try or anything, just saying that that's always got to be on your mind, especially when, you know, Serral doesn't typically play in smaller events. He might have just played a bit more regularly, and even could have potentially seen it as a chance to scout out a bit of what MaxPax is up to, get some feelings for some of these games. Not saying he didn't try his best, but there's a difference between trying your best and then trying every strategy you have available to you, right? And especially, I think, for Serral, someone who is such a great strategist, probably comes into this series with a couple of plans as to what he's going to get up to and what he's going to try and bring to the table to give himself an advantage in this best of 5. So, we get ready to go. I'm just going to get settled in. Nexus drops down, and we begin to rumble for the first few moments here of Amygdala. As we get Amygdala up and running, just going to get that all settled in. Caligulac gives Serral the 85% win rate, but of course Caligulac doesn't know about the current patch. Current patch obviously does, I think, change a few things. Definitely makes things a little bit tougher for the likes of Serral. It's because I think pros players are genuinely looking at this patch and seeing success off of it. They are genuinely having a good time with this, so yeah. See how this goes. Say we get set up for a couple moments, and we will get ourselves into this best of 5. Amygdala as our starting point. I think MaxPax is going to be quite comfortable to mix up a whole bunch of different games. I think he's going to be very happy to play some longer games. I think he's going to be very happy to play some shorter games. I think MaxPax really is very comfortable just across the board in that regard. I don't think he's going to be overly concerned. Let's just have our Nexus coming through. That's going to be coming up here. Like a little Chrono Boost on that Nexus as well, so bringing that online. The Stargate continuing in. Link Speed, drones, Overlord, all building. Couple links going to jump onto the rocks already as well. It's just going to get in over there. We do have ourselves again the Stargate building up, the Link Speed coming through. Just get that ready to rumble. Link Speed builds just going to be having again the hatchery and the drones continue to come about. Again, the Oracle and the Warp Gate continue to come into play. Just going to be seeing our Stalker continue to step out the front a little bit. So Stalker going to step forward just for a little while. Do you have ourselves the Link Speed coming up? The Queen's on the way. Oracle heads all the way down to the bottom left side of the map. The gateway and the Nexus continues to build up. The Warp Gate and the probes are producing through as well. The assimilators coming over. Queen gonna hit the Oracle. And again, the Evolution Chamber and drones in production as well. So we just get all of that brought up right here. The Overlord gets pushed up to the top side. The assimilator's still building in. The Oracle comes back down to the bottom. We do get the Queens to get on top of that Oracle for a couple of moments already. He's just gonna be able to grab that nice and quickly. The Oracle just dropping some early revelations as MaxPax looks to keep track of what's going on and just make sure that he's very aware of what's happening here in the early stages. The Oracle coming back around, moving over Robo Facility and the Twilight Council in production as well, so we bring that straight through. Nexus finishing up on the third base as well, so we get that straight into play. And yeah, Oracle just going to drop another little revelation down, going to chase another few units around there as we get rid of a couple of the creep tumors at the front. Taking those down very early and very comfortably. For the moment, Oracle still flying over. Queen going to be there to help push that Oracle away. Shove that a different direction. We continue to see the melee upgrade coming through as well. So bringing all of that into action here. And we do have ourselves again the Prism on the way out, the +1, the charge. Yeah, again, a few different little things just on the way out to start us off here as the Oracle continues to go after some lings. Alley upgrade coming through. There's the High Templars morphing in. So actually going to be seeing this little bit of an Archon drop now on the follow-up here from MaxPax as a way to apply some pressure. I think generally the plan here from MaxPax is if I apply some pressure and I look to generally just get some damage done, I keep myself fairly safe, and I also give myself a good chance of moving into a fairly comfortable position of the game, continuing into the next stage as well. So I think he's going to be fairly happy with how this goes initially. Got a couple of Archons coming through right now. They're going to hit up and get some damage done as well. Queen's actually dropping. The Prism taking a few hits also. A few additional Warpins. Just going to have our Prism still moving over again. Storm +1 attack and charge. All coming over now. Going to get on top of that Oracle. It's just going to be able to come straight through with that. Again, there is going to be a Warpin of Zealots. The drop load already building up from Serral. He's going to have a very similar approach to what Raynor had in the earlier games against Hero, which is let's get a little bit aggressive here. Let's not mess around. Definitely looking to try and get through and deal some damage. Alright, well, again, +2 attack. Starting up, the Storm is just about to finish up as well. We got a few more Roaches and the Overlords coming through too. As the Couple just reloading once again, gonna try for a little bit extra right now. Moving back the other side, just gonna be having the Roaches and making their way through. And here we have this big push. I mean, already having Storm going to help MaxPax a lot on this defense. Couple Storms coming down toward that Roach Ravager. Dropalord takes the Lings into the natural, takes the Lings into the main base, and that's absolutely going to be a huge way of starting to deal some damage. So getting in there, getting some damage done right off the bat. And just going to be seeing our Stasis Ward. Oh my goodness, well that's actually a huge catch, so that's going to slow down this army at the front at the very least. Queen still taking damage. The Immortals, Foundry, and High Templar stepping forward as well. Man, that Stasis is just absolutely huge. MaxPax is going to have those units popping out now, and we'll have to deal with them coming towards him. He's going to have a couple of Archons going to fire up. They're going to try and do their thing. Just going to be seeing the Roach Ravager continue to come back around for the moment. Man, that was just such a big Stasis Ward. Is it going to be enough, though? Another Storm coming in. The thing is, Serral is still playing low-tier units, so having the supply advantage is nice, but it is not super indicative of exactly where this game is going to. There's no guarantee of that just yet, as our units are going to try and press forward once again here. It's going to be seeing the Roach Ravager still stepping through. That Archon has to lift up, drop back down. A little bit of action from that. As we will see the Roach Ravager continue to come through. A couple more corrosive bars dropping in as we go. The Immortals are going to once again get involved as a bunch of those bars keep on dropping. And Serral supply is plummeting, and that's exactly what I mean. The tech units of the Protoss player keep on rallying. And as long as you're protecting those tech units and you don't let Serral overwhelm them, they're going to have a better and better time as their numbers rise up and the Zerg units start to kind of dwindle. And that's exactly what happens. Better and better fights happen over time for the Protoss, and now MaxPax looking good in this game. Number 1 over Serral. I know we saw MaxPax beat Serral the other day in a show match, but like it would actually be kind of crazy to see him beating him in a big tournament like the Masters Coliseum as well. See our Roach Ravager still moving about. The Baneling Nest coming up. The Lings and the Roaches coming over as well. Plus the melee will also produce right now. It's just going to get that on the go. As the Lings are going to step over. Zealots will take a few more shots. The Zealots will continue to take damage as well. So you have our Immortals going to get there. Ravagers are going to get stormed as this hatchery is going to go down. So the hatchery will fall on the 6 o'clock. I mean, this is just an army now from MaxPax, which is extremely powerful, very difficult for Serral to fight through this. I think Serral is right to focus a little bit on some of the Dropper Lord play and just some of the ways across the map to maybe deal damage, because I do not think we're going to have a good time in the long term here. And Serral is going to say GG, because MaxPax versus Serral. Game number 2 of this best of 5. The sound's back on as MaxPax is in the bottom right and Serral is in the upper left. Okay, we're on the front. And we do have a probe on the way out as well, so we get that settled down. The probe on the low ground there just going to mine away a little bit. And yeah, MaxPax might have just been saved by that Stasis Ward, guys, but that's one of the things you got to play around as Serral. If you're making big, bold moves, you take advantage with making big, bold moves. But if you're making big, bold moves, then you're not respecting the Stasis Wards, and so if the Stasis Ward gets to land, that's where the Pros gets to come back into it. That's, you know, it's not like you take no advantage as Serral, just kind of run your entire army around like that. It's tough, don't get me wrong, to capture, you know, to keep track of Stasis Wards and so on, but you just got to be aware of them. Whenever there's an Oracle in play, you just got to think that that is 100% a possibility. It's something you got to keep track of. You can't let that get away from you, 100%. Got to be very careful about it. Drop another gateway into place, and we continue to settle down here for just a few moments. Natural gas and pool all coming up, the Nexus on the way, and the Cybercore and the Assimilator coming up on the other side as well, so we bring all of that coming through for now. Queens, few Zerglings coming about as well. Let's just bring a little bit of everything up there for now. And the Stargate also coming into production right here, so just gonna get that on the go. Not surprised to see the Stargate, at least Stargate based open. Even if you switch into like a Glaives after, I think a lot of Stargates will come out in the season. A map like Abyssal Reef, big map, standard map, the sort of map which I'm pretty sure we're going to want to just play some pretty standard games on for the most part, so yeah, just kind of expecting this to be. And we continue as we settle into this one. Queen's going to go poking away at the Adept for a couple of moments, so just going to be setting up there. And link speed coming up as well, so just going to continue to bring that through. And the Oracle just going to come around as well. It's just going to get a little bit of movement going to begin with here. A little bit of action coming about. Nothing too crazy just yet. And the drones and the Queen's going to continue up as well. It's going to be having our Nexus taking a few nibbles with a few Zerglings showing up on the other side. So they are going to get moving there as well. Get settled in for the moment. And I've got the couple of Oracles still flying about. Just going to have ourselves the Oracles flying into that natural. Twilight Council, Forge, Gateway, Nexus, all coming through as MaxPax just goes to 3 bases, and we'll again harass with those Oracles and try and find some value with those over these next few moments. That is going to be where we are at for the foreseeable future. Oracles activating, a few more drones going down, a bit more damage being done, as we just have Queen going to come across and push those Oracles out the other way. Again, 3 probes and gateways all coming up at the moment from MaxPax. The drones and the roaches in production, the extractor building through. Queen step in from that right-hand side. And we just move into +1 and blink, so MaxPax setting up into that fairly standard establishment for himself here in these early stages. Get that underway. And as I say, we will more or less go from there, see what we can do. So I see a couple oracles going to fire back. We do have the queens there to push back the other direction as well. So just going to chase those out the other side. And again, Roach is coming over, the lag coming online for a couple moments. We've got that +1 and blink continuing through into play. So again, bringing all of that up and running. The Stalkers, the Adept continue to gather around here. Oracle gets a Crypt Humor as well as we go. So again, just going to be able to get a little bit of a grab on that. A bit of damage being done. Oh, camera issue. MaxPax has hacked into Serral's camera. He says, neither of us will be on screen. And we will both be represented by still images. Focus step up. A couple Crypt Humors continue to come through. The Archives on the way out, the charges continue to build. We just kind of have these Stalkers already pressing upwards. The Roaches, the Queen, step back the other direction. We do see our Zerglings on the kind of position to kind of keep scouting around, so they're going to keep on trying to find opportunities. Whenever the opportunity might arise. Again, our Stalker's going to hit through a little bit. The Ling Roach Ravager coming over. The Stalker's going to have to, blink to the low ground. Oh, the States catch the Lings that are coming around for the surround as well, so we're going to deny the potential surround that could have happened there. So that's some good news, because that could have gone very wrong very quickly. And we've still got the Storm coming up, the Charge coming up, the extra mutas, +1 missiles, and the Roach speed building as well. And away we go. 10 meters from Serral then, so trying to play this meter style. Focus just gather up. We are going to be having again Storm +2 attack upgrade on the way. Charge, probes, gates, all coming online as well. Just head down the bottom right hand side. Actually going to be able to dive through, and that's a bunch of probes. And we're going to be able to jump onto immediately, so the muta's already able to get a lot of work done here. So a lot of damage being dealt right from the start. The muta's coming straight across. 7 workers going down. Make it 8, and the Stalkers and the Archons going to get there to get a couple more meters as we try and push away before any further damage is dealt. Just trying to stop this before it goes, like I say, any further right here. Couple Zealots, couple HTs, +2 attack upgrade, all of that being brought up right now as our Stalker High Templar steps across the map. Hyder gathering through the army, all coming to the top side once again. Actually going to get there with the Stalkers able to jump onto a few of those Mutalisks. The Muta's already taking some damage. Those Storms could continue about. We still have our +2 attack upgrade. We still have the Zealots all coming in. Seismic Spines, +2 missile upgrade as well as Serral is going to try and engage into this from 2 angles. The Storms coming down and hitting pretty nicely across a lot of MaxPax's, a lot of Serral's army. MaxPax having to step back a little bit. He'll chase the Hydras and the Roaches down. Confident that a lot of the supply right now from Serral is in reproduction, which it is. So comfortable to step forward for at least a moment or two here. Get onto this hatchery. And away we go. Another Storm dropping in, the Lings and the Mutas coming from the other side. Roach continue to go in after those Stalkers at the moment. Couple of Stalkers getting picked off right now. Let's have ourselves the again, Seismic Spines, melee upgrade, all coming over. Just for the moment, again, +3 attack, the Prism. A little bit of everything coming online as we speak. Eight Lurkers in production right now, by the way, so those Lurkers all going to come up. Bring those straight through. Army gathering. We do have ourselves the, again, a little bit of force from Serral. Starting to come across the other side of the map here, so going to get in position straight away. A little storm coming down as well. Trying to set up with this for just a few moments. There's a few Hydras and Lurkers going to get kind of caught here, so MaxPax can clean that up. Obviously, you got to be careful because you don't really want to let the rest of these Lurkers get into too good of a position. Got a couple stasis wards getting some catches. One Lurker already flying up into the sky in the background. So that'll come back over as well. Just going to have now the Ling Hydra cut stepping across. The Overseer is still going to be right there as well. We continue to step straight through as the units chase about. Just stepping forward, the Cybercore taking damage, a couple of Zelds getting surrounded as well. Gonna have us Lurkers trying to fire through. The Hydra's gonna be there as well. It's a lot of Stalkers taking a lot of damage. But the Lurkers are gonna get cleaned up. I think MaxPax might have lost a bit too much though. I mean, even if he chases this away right now, can he rebuild effectively from this point? That's gonna be the challenge for him. So let's see if he can rise to that challenge. Like I say, this might be a little bit too tough. Because I do think this is a fairly tricky position to figure yourself out in right now. Just gonna see the couple of Stalkers shots coming through, a couple of Storms coming by as well. Once again, the Lurker's just able to get in position. The problem for MaxPax is if you just don't have the supply to really stop these units getting into position initially, you're going to consistently end up in, difficult spots like this one, basically, which is now these Lurkers are in position and it's even harder for you to fight. So losing out on your supply initially really does that to you. Trying to build a Tempest here, I think that's just a little bit too late to add to the party. Even the Mothership is still only just now popping out, so much of this just took so long to get to this point, and that's, I think, again, really the issue, that it's just taken us so long to get to this stage. That is the bigger issue more than anything else, as Serral is going to get MaxPax to say GG, and we are going to be tied up 1-1 in this battle. Let's start up MaxPax versus Serral. In the top right, MaxPax is our blue Protoss player. In the bottom left, Serral is our red Zerg player. Probe coming all the way over to the left, as we do have our gateway and our hatchery all building up for a few moments. So we get that settled in just for the moment. Assimilator coming through, the gateway producing. And again, hatch building, drones building, all of that continuing in for the moment. So we bring up as much of that as we possibly can. The extractor going to go down onto the edge here. So just going to get that set up immediately. Bring that straight through. Gonna drop that spawn and pool down. Again, hatch gas and pool all coming up. We have ourselves Cybercore, the Nexus coming in as well. So just bring this into play at the moment. Game number 3 is looking fairly chilled out and peaceful. At least for them, at least for right now, so. Getting to hang around here. There's a couple of queens, couple of lings, the drone, all building out for the moment. Serral Australia on ley lines in the group stage might have been the early map of the year. Oh, that was actually last year already, so. I wasn't even in this year. That was actually over a month ago. Yeah, this tournament's been very dragged out. I think that was actually 6 weeks ago. So, yeah, it's been a long time, this tournament. It's been just happening every weekend for quite a few weeks back to back to back. Handling speed coming through. Just going to have ourselves the Oracle on the way from MaxPax. No surprises for the first 3 minutes of the game. As the first Oracle comes up, we'll see where this starts to develop. We'll see what starts coming about here. Adept going to take a couple of nibbles. Is going to end up getting pushed away in the end. The Overlord moving through as well. So also just going to be coming across the map as that Oracle steps across. Oracle continues through. Hatchery just going to take a couple of nibbles. Adept going to get some shots done. So, we'll just take down some crew tumors here and get this all set. Drones continuing into play. Again, the Evo chamber coming up as well. Again, drones, Evo, everything producing. A couple of queens going to hit the Oracle. Push that back the other way right from the get-go. Just going to shove that along. Oracle activating. Some creep tumors currently. And Serral choosing to go into the melee upgrade. Those feisty lings basically getting set up here from Serral. Get that ready to go. You have the Oracle still continue to cruise about as well. Here's the winner of Hero Reno. Hero 3-2 advances to the winner bracket finals. We'll play the winner of this series, now tied up 1-1 here, Serral and MaxPax. Couple Stalker shots, just going to poke the lings out the other direction. So we can get those pushed, going the other way for a couple of moments. Okay, now starting up, a couple hatches coming through. Get ourselves the upgrade finishing very shortly as well. It's just going to, like I say, bring a little of this into play. The Stalker's going to get there. The Zergling going to get taken down. Again, the Hydrogen going to be a part of the production right now as well. So Bayness, Hydrogen, both on the way up. The Ling Queen comes back down to the bottom side, so again we'll be settling here for a couple of moments. See, the Stalker's already going to activate and going to go after some of these creep tumors, so a little bit more of the creep getting cleaned out as we speak. But Hatchery taking damage as well. And this is where you start pushing and doing, well for yourself, but at the same time we do have on the other side the counter-attack of Serral. It's going to come through. This Ling Bane's going to start catching some of the defending Stalkers. A lot of the probes pull away, a lot of the other Banes going to have to decide where they want to commit to. They're actually going to start moving to the natural. MaxPax will check his wall off there is intact, otherwise he'll be in trouble. And then the Ling Bane continues to move about. Just see the Oracles overhead. A couple Stalkers are blinking over as well here, just for the moment. Okay, and those Zerglings will continue to move about just for a little bit. While those additional Banes continue to come about, the Zerglings will gather together. And we do have ourselves the Storm and the +2 attack upgrade continuing into play. So bringing all of that Storm +2 through for the moment. Frog's going to blink across. Few Lings get chased around the other directions here, so we are going to be seeing the Storms trying to come in defensively once again. So still just trying to stay very active with these upgraded Lings on the counterattacks, trying to make use of them. High Templars gather together. You see that Ling Bane force still gathering then, and we do have Hydra's Lings getting sorted for Serral. Obviously, Storm's going to be very good against a lot of these units. See how that all pans out. So we settle for a moment or two. Storm coming down just to once again distract those Lings, push them back the other way nice and quickly. You don't really want those to continue to come into play here at all, so just gonna try and do your absolute best to ensure that that does not become too much of a factor. You have the Prism coming about also, again moving around just for a few moments. And the rest of this army still moving over. I mean, MaxPax very confident with this army, otherwise he wouldn't be out in the middle of the map with it trying to poke around for some damage. So he's obviously got to be feeling pretty good about how things are looking right now. Otherwise, like I say, he wouldn't be playing this the way that he is. Bane's rolling into this forward base, and again, Serral continues to try and keep going with as much of this aggression as he can. He really is very, very resilient about the idea of, hey, I want to get out here, I want to keep dealing damage, and that's absolutely just my plan. So that absolutely has been the way he approaches this. The Lings will catch one more Zealot for the moment. And you see a few of those Lurkers getting caught in that stasis ward as well, so that stasis trap setting up right there. Another Storm coming through. Great Spire on the way, so Serral already readying for some of the very late stages of this game. Obviously, the Tempests are on the way up as well from MaxPax, so we'll have those Tempests in play to help him as well. We do have the couple more Storms coming down. The Lurkers taking some shots. Lurkers actually hitting a lot of shots onto a lot of those other units. The Corruptors all on the way. That's 13 additional Corruptors currently being built here, so a lot of extra Corruptors on the way up. We make them meaningful. As yeah, I mean, pretty much yes is the answer, because they're going to fight against Tempests. So they should end up being pretty darn meaningful, right? They should absolutely have an impact in this game. That part there should be really no doubt about. See a couple of Banes crashing through this position once more, so we've seen that position a couple of times actually coming through. Happen again here now as we just have Tempest and Stalkers and all the rest coming over. And yeah, we continue to put a little bit more pressure into play here. Once again. The ship is setting up. Just have ourselves, obviously, the Tempest Force scary. Like I say, Serral gonna have to start playing against the later stages of this, and he's even gonna get the Neo Parasite upgrades, so starting to get into some later game upgrades, which should help us along the way with this also. Well, Archon's gonna fight that Overseer and take some shots, goes down immediately. Actually a pretty nice catch, all said and done. This is coming across again, a couple of shots coming through for a moment or so. Nothing too crazy at the end of the day. I'm kind of expected a little bit to harass us. Again, another couple of storms come down again here. More shots coming over. Storms all across those Corruptors. Corruptor's going to keep on chasing. Those Tempest's going to end up in a little bit of trouble. One Tempest going down. Second Tempest going down. No fear, apparently, about the Protoss army. So we're just going to kind of disrespect the Protoss army and kind of just run into it and just say, yeah, you can hit my Corruptors all you like. I'm happy to chase for those Tempests. So Serral trying to get as many of those as he can. He's losing base on the left side. Little counterattack from MaxPax is going to find a way to deal damage during all of these other trials and tribulations that are going on in this. A couple of storms here. I mean, we've got a group of lurkers that are playing defensively. You would imagine those lurkers are likely going to be able to find the defense necessary to make this a very comfortable closing position. I find it kind of hard to imagine that this really starts to look too different at all, to be honest. The ship, the Archons, the Immortals coming over once again, and I mean, this base is going to take some hits, but like I say, we're just playing around the lurkers, so the more important locations are protected by Serral. He is in control of this, absolutely. And the Nexus sets up over on the side. We've seen the lurkers still coming across, so they're going to try and test that look. The mothership, again, accompanying a few units the other direction. +2 attack, +1 air weapons. Blink on the way. The High Templars step forward and reproduce once more here, so just going to have those also coming into play. More shots coming through. Archons, Immortals continue to step forward right now, so again we take a chance to step into this. The couple of drones going to have to stay pulled away from this right now as well, so just going to try and stay out of the way for a couple more moments. Gather together here as we do see the storms coming through, hitting those Corruptors. Goal right now, I mean, I love what Serral's doing harassment rise, because he's actually going to do a lot to really slow down MaxPax's setup. Actually working his way through some of those positions is going to really work wonders for him, so liking that part of this, like I say, kind of a lot, honestly. As we do have the army continuing back through. 14 drones have died from Serral, though. He's got a bit of money in the bank, but it's not an endless bank, not by a huge stretch of the imagination, so he's got actually a long way to go to really find himself in a comfortable place once again right now. It's going to be an interesting challenge to see how he kind of approaches this, because like I say, he's been kind of drained on economy. The bases that have gone down around the edges have had an impact. They've definitely been adding up. They've definitely been something of a problem, so some potential issues as our Archons and Tempests will go pinging once again. Just this hatchery continuing to take damage. It does look as though it's going to fall as the Zealots come over as well here. Something else continuing through too. That's other upgrades continuing in production right now. We just have our army continue to gather up. Tempest Shot's going to start leading the battle here as the hatchery will take a few more hits. The Lings, the Corruptors make their way across. We do have the Fleet Beacon still coming through. That +3 attack upgrade also in production right now. Nice couple of Neurals actually going to catch these Tempests and the Oracle, which means that they are just going to dive. And you can't kill these Infestors there. Yeah, they are just going to go down. The Corruptors can come through and attack click them. That's going to be a nice catch. It's some of the efficiency that you're probably just needing right now, realistically, here is Serral. As crazy as it is to kind of say that, he actually is in a point where I think he just needs a lot of efficiency to kind of see himself through to a further successful part of this game. I mean, he's in trouble. Plain and simple. He is in quite some trouble at the moment. It's definitely not turning out as clean as he was, I imagine, hoping it would be. More shots coming over, just going to be having our, again, Tempest, Stargate, all building in for now. Bring a lot of that into play already. Stasis Ward just going to catch for a moment or two. Someone's going to come over, just going to get some of the Zealots. As you see, the Tempest and the Archon's going to fire up as well. In the later stages here, 20 minutes. This is the kind of PvZ I've been asking for a little bit all day, but we haven't really been able to get much of it. And Serral is already adding on some of those Broodlords, so bringing those numbers into action, getting that set up. We do have the Observer coming about here in production as well, making sure we have constant detection available as MaxPax fights toward another one of his bases, looking to get the Nexus set up on this top side of the map. So we're going to get this position ready to roll. As the +2 air weapons, the shield upgrade, cannons and Nexus continue to come online currently. Those Corruptors are still in production, so we get a few more of those coming out, and again that Great Aspire coming over as well. Just allowing more Broodlords to be added in, is we're still playing with a lot of yeah, honestly still fine with a lot of kind of, you know, ground. I don't want to say basic units because they're techie units, but units that we've had for a while, right? The Immortal, the Archon still making up a chunk of this army. MaxPax saying that this is the kind of army he's okay playing later game against, but I think that's where he'll struggle against Broods. This kind of army should not be able to do too well against Broodlords, so kind of expecting some problems to arise from that. Curious what the red dots on the top side of the map are. I imagine they're just Dropper Lords or even just Overseers or just normal Overlords that have just flown there at some point. I'm not sure why. It'll be some kind of Overlord play. I can't, again, so I would love to check, but I actually can't because I'm not in control of the game. We're just watching a clean feed, hence some of the quality issues. Well, Brood's getting some shots off here, actually seeing a little bit of success. A couple of successful hits coming through, the couple of probes going down as the Lurkers take position once more. And they're going to come straight into position and again work onto that Nexus. So that Nexus already taking some damage, like I say, some work being done. Broodlords, Corruptors, and Infestors all on the way out for the moment. Army coming back across. Still have even more Broodlords on the way, even more Infestors added on as well. Man, we are getting so many of these caught up right now. Oh, Mongol tries to land Neural as well. You see the main army of the Protoss coming around the bottom side of the map here currently, so away we go. Shots coming over, just going to have our Broodlords firing away. And a lot of these drones going to go down, so Serral really losing a significant base in this game. He is going to start getting choked out of this game if he cannot get economy back up and rolling here. Again, he takes a base of MaxPax down. I mean, we're working on 5 bases versus 4 though, and obviously the 4 bases of Serral are very heavily utilized. They've been used throughout this entire game already, so this is very much so a situation where we're kind of just expecting... I mean, never mind expecting, MaxPax is, I think, absolutely winning this because of that scenario. Just where Serral is not able to mine for fresher bases, and that's going to make this very tough for him. MaxPax making this later game stage of the game work out for the moment. Nexus, 2 Nexuses on the way, bringing both of those up right now. Shot coming through. We do have our Broodlords and Corruptors continue to gather up. So that Revelation keeping a pretty good track of things, as well as cannons and Nexus continue to come through. The hatches and the Corruptors rebuilding. We try and set back up here as Serral. He doesn't really have much choice with... If he doesn't set back up, he's basically giving up, right? So, yeah, I'm just going to try and keep rebuilding with whatever money he has. He's got a lot of gas, so units like Infestors right now, very good because they're very gas heavy units, and that's pretty much what you're looking to work with at this point in time. So, looking to work with those gas heavier units, try and bring those into play. Success as our Tempest come back over. Lurker shot's gonna clear it up. A couple of hits coming through. The Tempest and the Archon's gonna step across as well. Have the Mothership getting involved here as well. Just gonna see that coming straight across now. The Tempest gonna fire up another couple of hits and try and deal some more damage over that. Shots firing, trying to break in, utilizing that Revelation. That's a good fungal, and it's a good neural, and that's why I think we recall instantly, as MaxPax is just like, nope, not convinced about this anymore. He's not sure about that position in the slightest, considering what just happened, so... Yeah, if you get caught in a position like that, not going to mess around. Actually recalls with the Mothership down to the south side, so he's using this now as a multi-prong position, and is able to multi-prong straight through, hitting that bottom side base once again, and it's just another location Serral will struggle to get up and rolling for himself in this best of 5. Game 3, 25 minutes here on ley lines, like I say, a lot of what we've been looking for. Another few units coming across. Broodlords in production, like I say, just trying to bring up anything we can here as Serral to improve his position for the most part. I mean, can't really do much else, can he? Not in position to do anything else at this stage. And as the Corruptor Broodlord sets up again, the Few Infest is going to continue across the other way. Carriers on the way up, +3 air weapons on the way through as well. To settle down as we just have the carrier production continuing through. +3 air weapons is building, so I mean, MaxPax, the move to carries is something that takes a while, but I think he's in a good enough position to get away with it here, and I think that's a very important note, because I do think yeah, he's been kind of playing this game out very well, and a move to carriers might just solidify his victory at this stage, so I do not hate the choice that we make in that regard. I think it's a very respectable one. And like I say, if carriers come up, I'm not sure if Serral can really find any sort of... I mean, there might be an efficient enough fight. I mean, I guess if there's Infestors in play, then there's always going to be something of a chance, right? But, yeah, I mean, Spellcasters are always going to give you some hope. At the end of the day, this is more than, you know, more than just hope, however. This is also about the fact that, you know, you kind of need to take some good fights, so... Yeah, I guess you just hope that MaxPax kind of messes up a little bit. I guess it is kind of all about hope. Hope, some good execution. It's not impossible for Serral. I mean, his army supply is big. If you can just win one big fight, it's going to be difficult to win the one big fight decisively enough that he needs to. Especially because there's just not going to be a lot of rebuilding coming down. It's not a game where all the bases are mined out. It's not a game where it's been inactive and hence there's a massive bank available on both sides. Not in the slightest, actually. So that's the real notable part, right? Is that this has been a super active game. And as it has been a super active game, a lot comes from it. We see now Ling's running across. They're going to go after a few Zealots. The upgrade continuing through as well. The Tempest shot's going to fire through. They're going to get some hits in as MaxPax tries to fend off Serral, advancing forward right now. These Infestors, Corruptors, and Broodlords all making a step up at the moment. So they are going to come stepping across. It's going to be seeing the rest of this army still gathering together. Just going to be seeing Archons, Immortals, and everything else just on the edge of creep here. The Tempest is going to make a step up as well. There's an Infestor, going to grab a Neural Parasite onto one of those Tempests. The other Tempest is going to get strung along, Fungal Growth landing. Corruptors coming through, those Tempests going down. Oracles getting away as well for the moment. Was that just a recall to the Mothership a few moments away? Looks like it might have been. Corruptor, Infestor, and Broodlord all still stepping across the map as we continue through this right now. So again, position is continue to set up. We see the few Zealots charging in. We're just going to be having the Nexus taking a few more shots. Again, Tempest coming online, Lings and Extractors coming up as well. All of that being brought through for the moment is that Tempest, High Templars building for the moment here. 30 minutes in on ley lines now. I mean, Serral is kind of coming across for what could be some of the final attempts of a fight. Trying to lead in with those Corruptors, trying for the Mothership. Will get the Mothership. It took a little while to do so. Your Parasites coming out. The Carrier's going to get caught. The Corruptors are still firing away. Just seeing those Archons still stepping up as well as a couple of cannons continue to put some work in. Broodlord's still taking some more shots. MaxPax's supplies dropped a lot. He's going to be on mostly minerals at this point. I wonder if there's anything significant he can add on with just minerals, or is this just going to be Zealot reinforcements? Maybe Zealot reinforcements are not the worst, right? I mean, if you add 30 Zealots into the game right now, I'm not going to say no. Serral, his army supply is only ahead by about 10, so it's much worse than what it has been at previous points. As that is a Fungal Growth that lands onto those Tempests. Viper continuing some damage as well. Just going to be seeing the Corruptors continue to shoot. Another Carrier going down. The Broodlords are fighting. Again, Tempest coming across and Nexus getting cancelled. Man, MaxPax is almost sub 100 supply. There's one Broodlord going down. It's about these Corruptors, I guess. I mean, MaxPax still building Tempest. I mean, he's still got... I mean, I guess he's got gas income, so he's able to spend the minerals. But he doesn't seem to care for it. GG gets called, and Serral is apparently able to take a good enough fight. MaxPax versus Serral. Game 4. Can Serral come through and win? Will MaxPax give us the game 5? Excellent game on ley lines. MaxPax just couldn't quite take good enough trades towards the end, unfortunately. I actually thought he was in the winning position for a lot of it. Just always going to come down to some of those final trades, and that wasn't quite good enough. Okay, we're coming through. Matching the rest all coming online. Get settled in here. Game 4 of our series. Great map to have Game 4 on as well. El Dorado can definitely force some of those longer games. We'll see what the expansion pattern from each player is like, because that's typically going to have a little bit to say about how this looks. So that could be interesting from the very get-go as well. As again, the hatch, the gas, and the spawning pool all coming online for a few moments, so bringing this up into play. Next is building. Again, hatch and pool coming online. We get ourselves the next and the cyber core coming about as well. Seeing the Overlord making its way across for the moment, getting set up. Couple of queens moving through, the lings and the drones coming back over. Again, we get our Overlord still moving at the front a little bit. Stargate coming online. That Nexus coming in as well. Well, Lings is going to nibble up at some rocks, so I'll do a little bit of damage here. Little bits and pieces. Lings is going to knock down those rocks, and again the Stargate coming through, a couple of probes, and the Adept continue to come in. And Void Ray coming up as well, so just going to get that Void Ray and the Warp Gate all continuing to build right now. I'm just going to go shading through. As again, the Void Ray is in production, so it's going to bring that up and online for a couple of moments. And the Void Ray building in, building speed coming up, our Oracle and our Warp Gate all coming through as we take a little bit of time to, I guess, say, get established here. Hatch finishes on the bottom. Again, a few drones and the Lings, the Queen as well, producing on through. The Spores on the way up, as we do have the Void Ray moving into the main base. And it's going to activate, starting up on a couple of those drones. So, a few drones going to come about. The extra drones in production. Again, the Spore and the Evo Chamber all coming online as well. The Oracle activating for a few more workers, and again the creep tumors will go down. I mean, the Oracle takes quite a bit of damage. We get some drones, we get some creep tumors, so we're getting value out of it, and as long as it ain't dead, it can still be extremely useful throughout the rest of the game, right? So it's almost always going to remain to be a pretty reasonable factor. Oracle back toward the natural here, trying to see a bit more of what's up. And yeah, melee upgrade still just being built on into play as well. The Oracle continues over for now. Order comes to the right side, and actually going to find some long distance drone mining drones, like gold being mined a little bit as we try and build a spore, but that has to cancel. Drone goes down. Serral is 3 bases across the bottom and 1 base up at the top is his 4th, so playing a little bit of a mix of bottom and top. Just going to take that kind of good solidified setup to start off with here. Try and build on that and see what we can do with it. As a couple of queens get across, just going to chase the Void Ray and the Oracle away for a few moments as well. Yeah, melee upgrade coming through. Drones, Lings, Queens, all producing. second +1 and Blink still just on the way out. The melee upgrade and the roach speed continue to produce. We do have the infestation pit starting as well, so bringing that straight online. The Void Ray going to activate, chase those few Zerglings the other direction, and again the melee upgrade, roach speed continuing through too. Void Ray just coming back the other direction again. Lings in the infestation pit continuing to come through for the moment. You can see that Void Ray still setting up. And yeah, we just got ourselves the Void Ray just going to be having cruised around and done a lot this game, is still just active and still just providing map control. Serral opts for the Hydra Den. He's going to go Hive as well, so just rushing up towards most likely some Lurkers. Going to use that as a setup for himself to try and build off of in this game. Stalker fires a few more shots, a few more hits coming in there. I think it's got a little wrap around on the Nexus. The Stalker's going to shoot, a few Lings still dropping. And the Storm coming online, the +2 attack upgrade coming online. And that charge, say, building into play at the same point. We'll just have the couple of stack defenses building right there, so just going to get that started up as well. Get that going straight away. And the Adept and the Oracle still coming through. The Zergling's is going to go all the way down the bottom side, so, I mean, Serral is moving around with those, takes this watchtower for a few moments. We'll see the army gathering on the other side of the mineral wall. We actually get some pretty good storms, considering you can't really do anything here as MaxPax, considering you can't reach that army. Storming that is just free damage to Serral. A little bit of a mistake. Zero reason for those Lings to get as hurt as they did there, as MaxPax continues his shove across the middle of the map at the moment. So he goes pushing, and it looks to see if he can indeed succeed. Over these next few moments, see if we can have some success. Yeah, the Hydra's going to have to come down that ramp, which is obviously not pretty when we've just been talking about big storms. That is a prime time location to storm. I'm sure that will do a lot. As our Stalker goes back the other way. Again, a lot more Lings coming through, Hydra's coming up, Lurkers as well. Still got the Seismic Spines coming over. Adrenal Glands, +2 missiles, building up at the moment. We step forward, and a couple Creep Teamers taking damage also. Prism loading up, a few Zealots getting caught. Have our Storms dropping down still. Hydras and Lurkers taking some shots. The army really does just get retreating up to the top side. That's a big shutdown from Serral, who might have just made a good enough play or a strong enough play to pretty much start shutting down this game 4. I mean, that was a big play, pushing that back. MaxPax is on his way to Stargates. He's on his way to Tempest. He's building a larger later game army, so maybe this doesn't decide the game just yet, but like I say, definitely feels like it puts it in a good direction for Serral, because MaxPax cannot do or does not succeed with that stage. Now we see drop lords from Serral as well, so he's looking to get aggressive, finding ways to apply pressure, finding ways to make MaxPax struggle here in these next few moments, it would seem. Yeah, those targets continue through the mothership coming up also. Lings, Hydra's going to be there. The prison gets turned the other direction. Just getting pushed back already as the rest of the Lings still gather up. The prison pulling along just for now as well. Again, we get the Lurkers building, the Spire coming through. As much of that as possible currently being added into play. Obviously, the Tempest going to force a little bit of a later game kind of establishment. Going to force Serral into some Corruptors, push him into a very different phase of this game of what we've been playing so far. You can't play against those Tempests with just the Lurks forever. You need to protect those. Now, the Spire is about to finish, so we are going to have our answer to those kind of Tempests coming up sooner rather than later. The Storm's coming down. Serral already shoving himself into a pretty decent position here and starting to get some damage done. Lurker's getting there as well. The Drop Lord's allowing you to get into a much better position than what is typically immediately expected in these scenarios, so that's definitely going to be a big part of a helping hand here as our army gathers up. That's getting chased away. There's all those Corruptors coming through as well, so Corruptors on the way out. Broodlords going to be inevitable on the follow-up to that in the near future. Things pop through, and again we have ourselves the Zealot just going to be having to cruise around for a little bit and look for other opportunities in this game. +3 attack, +1 air weapons, the Tempest and the Oracle still continuing through. Continue to settle for the moment as our Drop Lords keep on a building. So just going to find the Lings in a choke point at least so they can trade fairly well against them as they protect the long distance mining probes. So Serral doesn't find too much as a micro those Lings onto the probes, which maybe could have been a little bit of a problem for MaxPax. For Aspire on its way with the Broodlords now finally starting to come into the game. See how effective that ends up being. Once again, the Drop Lords, though, I think that's the one thing MaxPax struggled against previously, and he may struggle again now. He put so much of your thought into the map in terms of how the map usually works and moves around. Drop Lords really undo a lot of that thinking, so the Stalkers were here pretty clearly to try and deny this, but Lurkers get burrowed, and the Stalkers are going to melt against the Lurkers. If you spend too long dealing with this as MaxPax, it opens up the rest of the map and potentially see Serral moving through elsewhere. The Corruptors here trying to get some snipes off as this army comes in to play defense. Doesn't work out too well for the Corruptors in the end, but the idea is good. The activity level there of just kind of being ready to try and check to see if there was a chance to get a catch. And these Tempests continue through. The Lurker's going to take a few more shots. A few more hits coming through. Corruptors still taking quite a lot of damage here as the Lurker shots fire. A couple more Lurkers getting hits. Just going to knock those down. Again, the Nidus is coming through. As we will see Serral really focusing on continuing to prioritize attempting to deal damage. That is what Serral's motto is, or motive is, in this stage of this game right now, as the Archon's going to get there. The Corruptors going to fly overhead still. Stalker's there, just going to go grab that hatchery. Still got the +3 melee, +2 carapace. All continuing to build. Two more Stargates in production. That Tempest is on the way as well. A few Stargates still building up. The Zealots are going to charge across. We do just have ourselves the couple of Drop Lords still kind of getting at it. But I mean, the Stalker's in position. Can we drop enough in to make this effective? Our previous drop worked. The Lurkers did a lot, but this is not Lurkers. This is just purely Lings. We lose one Drop Lord before we even begin to unload. So Serral unfortunately loses a lot of units there very quickly. Corruptors coming across. I'm not sure they're going to really be much aid in this scenario. Okay, they're going to caustic spray down the base. That makes sense, I guess. Just utilizing their caustic spray once more in this game helps you quite a bit. Okay, I like that. For some reason I forgot, even though we've already seen the Corruptors caustic spraying as well. I was like, well, just completely ignore that possibility. Couple shots coming through. Corruptors are going to get hit right there. You see the Archon Immortal Stalker moving about. We regather to the bottom side here. As you can see, Serral is going to have MaxPax moving into position. Going to have to go and deal with this. More hits coming through. We do have the shots coming about. Lings, Lurkers taking big damage. Mothership going to be overhead and is just going to hold its ground for a few moments here. More shots still coming through. The Corruptors are going to get a cleanup. The Mothership goes down. MaxPax losing a lot of the important parts of his army at this point in time. Going to try and recall. Going to lose units during the recall. Actually has a few Archons still going on the ground, actually, but... Well, actually, I was going to say, but they're going to get cleaned up, but they actually don't. They actually are going to end up dropping. Serral's the one who comes out of this in worse supply. Now has to deal with a ground army on the top side. It's Lings that are streaming into this position. Can they do enough? Zeld's about to show up to buffer for this force, which is going to suggest that Lings probably don't get enough done from here. And my goodness, I think we might be about to have... Yeah, I think we might be about to have a very effective Game 4 here from MaxPax to take us to Game 5 in this series. Well, again, everything we want out of these games today. These games are delivering. Stalker, Archon, Tempest coming through. I see the couple of shots coming about once again, so we continue with all of that. Seeing the Lings coming back over. They will try and do as much as they can as well. MaxPax is shoving onto this hatchery. I mean, he's got a 50 supply lead now, so you can just see that Serral has not been able to trade well enough. Madness. Absolute madness. MaxPax actually going to take us to Game 5. I mean, like I say, MaxPax had that recent win against Serral. My confidence for him kind of dropped a little bit when Serral won that last game, although I don't know really why, because to be fair, I do look at that last game, I'm like, well, yes, Serral really still got played a very, forced to play a very close game. But it's not an easy win for Serral. It was, like I say, very close overall. I'm just going to shoot, Hatchery take damage, Lurker pull back across as well. I mean, obviously just going to lose this potential gold base. I'm not sure that's really going to have a huge impact on where this game is at. We do see some Fungals, we do see Corruptors try and come through. The Storm's definitely going to do a lot to help. A lot of the air units are going to survive, and if that's the last of Serral's Corruptors, then this does not bode well for him. He's getting Neural Parasite, but I feel like he just lost most of his Infestors as well, dropping those Fungals, so I'm not convinced he's going to be able to make anything happen with that either. It's all gathering together here. Just going to be seeing a couple of Infestors coming around, the Corrupt coming up as well. So again, a lot of this coming over right now. So do you have a couple of Archons, and Zot's going to get active and make some plays. Tempest in the center, just going to shoot back at the Lurkers immediately there. The Lurker's just going to sit tight. For the ship, Archon's Tempest coming across. And there is GG called by Serral, because MaxPax has done too much. Not that I'm never not a Serral believer, really, but I mean, like I say, MaxPax won recently. I felt like with a 2-1 lead, I was really believing. Now, MaxPax bringing it back in another kind of longer game. Ultralove doesn't necessarily go into one of those kind of super longer games, but it can do, so this should be a little bit intriguing. We'll see what happens here over the next few moments as our pylon drops down, the gateway comes up. Few drones coming through, hatchery building. Two. And the winner of this game goes to that winner bracket finals. Again, the loser of this is an out. I would probably say, to me, the loser of this is probably a favorite in the lower bracket. I mean, absolutely Serral is. I mean, I guess Reyno's down there, so that's always going to be difficult for either of these guys. MaxPax lost to Reyno during the group stages already. So as always, it ain't a guarantee, but it's a good possibility. The hatchery, the pool coming online, Nexus and the Cybercore coming up as well. Which is a low Selma, stay low to Aya. Let's go Maximus. Exciting stuff, guys. Exciting stuff. Going all the way to this final game here on Ultra Love. Trying to decide this series. And Serral lost to MaxPax last time they played, just over a week ago. In the big brain bouts. Not even a week ago, actually. It's less than a week ago. As always, Serral looking pretty frustrated when he's on that camera and not getting those wins. Wonder if he's got some something planned for Ultra Love. I wonder if he goes back to like aggression. I mean, to be fair, he's played a longer game that worked out in his favor as well, so I don't think he really is forced into doing anything here. I think this is really just a case of whatever he feels best with. Which I would typically say for Serral is kind of the longer game, but you know what Serral was always impressed me by is that he was never afraid to do the more aggressive builds in absolutely critical situations, right? He almost, in the past at least, had that invincibility around him where he's like, well, it doesn't matter what build I pick, it's going to work. And the danger of being able to bring out like such a dangerous kind of cheesy all-in-y build in kind of a final game was always something I think did a lot for Serral, even though we didn't see it necessarily get used in like a final game a lot of the time, because let's face it, he was quite often, you know, very comfortably winning his series. But I've always thought about that as one of the key factors for Serral's success over the years, the fact that he was not afraid to mix it up, and he really did have that kind of clutch factor when it came to those games. Oracle continue to build Warp Gate, Twilight Council, Gateway coming up. We just have ourselves a few drones on the way out. The Zerglings continue to produce as well. Is going to hit the Void Ray, which flies overhead. We will just see our drones and our Spore Crawler continue to produce. We will take a few shots onto the Void Ray, so the Void Ray will take a little bit more damage for the moment. As we do have the Oracle getting pushed away by the couple of Queens as well. It's just going to chase that away. A couple of Assimilators coming down as well. Resonating Glaives from MaxPax here for Game 5. What a time to really go for the big switch up as well, huh? Void Ray here going to try and deny some scouting, creep tumors, and obviously just hopefully overlords so that Serral struggles to pick up on exactly what's going on. So Resonating Glaives on the follow-up to the Stargate. Starglaives operational. Feeling's actually going to run up that side and come across to see if they can maybe find a way to get something done there. See a couple shots coming through. The Ling's already counterattacking, and obviously with these counterattacks you're also getting info. You're seeing what units are warping in, you're seeing what units are already there. Additional extractors continue up. Here come the Adepts shitting across the map. Serral's already making a lot of roaches. I feel like his initial preparation for this is already looking very, very good. And honestly, I think actually looking pretty great already. Adept's going to fire up, a few drones going down. Roaches are obviously going to start clearing up, but we do start taking some losses. However, we're also taking losses on the side of MaxPax. So he's losing workers as well back at home, which obviously undoes a lot of the work that he's doing. I mean, it's not going to be completely, but it is steps in the wrong direction, unfortunately, as we just have those roaches coming across. A couple of Adepts going to get jumped on. Drone's going to take some hits as the Oracle continues to fly overhead for the moment, and we just have ourselves again +1 and Blink continuing through. Plus one and Blink both coming up. A couple of depths are going to go shading about once again. See those roaches coming back across. A couple of drones going to hit the, a couple of depths going to hit those drones as well. Roaches and queens going to be there to play defense. A few more drones coming through. The Void Ray pulls back overhead with everything else. 17 adepts gone down. Serral lost 20 workers in total. Is this one of those scenarios where is it just good enough on both sides? Did Serral lose too many drones? Honestly, I think it's a good question because I'm not sure if I've got the answer personally. Like, he's building just Roach Hydra off 66 workers right now, has a 4th base, so he could drone further, and he will start to do so now. Hard to say exactly. I think MaxPax did fine. I think at the very least, it's a playable game from both. I'm not sure if there's an advantage anywhere. I think Serral only be on 66 drones is kind of like a little scary, but like I say, it feels like he's building a lot of units to potentially attack. However, then he added a few drones. Now he adds an infestation pit, so maybe it's just the work count he wants to play on for the moment. Roaches will come across the other side. Once again, some of those counterattacks from Serral helping to delay his opponent's economy as the Stalkers now try and find efficiency here. Roach is going to show up, a little bit more damage being done. Again, Storm plus 2 attack, all on the way through right now. Charge coming up as well, just for the moment. Stalkers continue to jump onto these queens, so a couple of queens going down. Our units picking away at the blue team is. Hydra just going to be hitting already, so Serral with this attack, like I say, it did feel as though he was cutting drones to commit to something, and this seems to be it. As the Nexus on this right side will start to take some shots. Stalkers have the efficiency of that blink. Does Serral have enough? This is honestly a lot of Stalkers, and we're about to have High Templar storming as well, so Hydras are going to have a bad time. That first storm does absolutely nothing. Not sure what that's about. The High Templar walk down the ramp into the Hydras and Lings, so we're going to lose those. And Serral is going to get a major grab right there as MaxPax makes a mistake with the High Templar control. Loses out on those. Infestation pit on the way. Were we not building an infestation pit? Did we cancel that? Well, now we're building another one? Serral seems a little bit unsure himself as to where he wants to go to. I think he's done with this attack, though. Denying the 4th base is enough for him to say, cool, time to settle down into a Lurker Den, into the next phase of this game in general. And just still moving over. As you do see the Prism coming about and dropping down a couple of potential storms. Or just Zealots, actually. The Zealots at the sides. Just some Zealot run-bys or counterattacks, just trying to find some of those positions around the map. Locations we can jump onto here over the next few moments. I'm just going to get underneath that Void Ray. It's going to take a lot more shots. The Stalker is going to try and get there to chase that Roach Hydra Link Force away. It's going to push that back. Again, the Lurker Den coming up. Hive continues into play. So we get a lot of that on the go right now as our Stalkers blinking over. Ling Roach Hydra going to be there. More Hydras get picked away as we continue to come across. Stalkers there with the army pushing across the other side. We are going to be seeing a couple of those creep teamers maybe in danger as well, but no detection apparently. Thought maybe MaxPax would step up and go for a little extra right now. Serral has taken this as an opportunity to drone, an opportunity to, like I say, tech. His Lurk is now on the way out as well, so continue to improve his position here as the Lings, the Hydras, going to come around for a little bit. And knock away at those rocks, trying to clean that up. And Spire coming online. Other ship building, the Immortal on the way through too. Just gonna have this army still working up the left. Nice storm. Lings, Hydras, all over the place. Lings and Hydras getting absolutely shot at. Those storms actually hit very nicely as Serral trying to capitalize and jump on that army a little bit. Spire now on the way from Serral as he's prepping for that later stage of the game to come about once more. He knows exactly where this is likely heading to. And so the preparations must be made. The first Tempest on the way up here from MaxPax in this Game 5. More storms, and we have some pretty decent little positions. Just going to be seeing the Lings, the Hydras, the Lurkers continue to come over. Army's still stepping up, just going to have ourselves the Lurkers burrowing through. MaxPax's ground army definitely looking good, and with the addition of Tempest here very shortly, looking like this is getting to be a very nice position here for our Protoss player. I like where MaxPax is at. I feel like he's in a good position. Let's see if he can close out. Rest of the army gathering up. Hydras, Lurkers, all joining in. The +3 missiles coming through. We actually have the Prism into the corner, getting pushed around there a little bit as well. So that's just going to get shoved over for a couple of moments. Missiles just continuing in. So again, Serral still getting some upgrades, still getting an improved position in this game. To a better and better spot right now. The Lurkers already dropping down here, so some damage being done. A lot of damage being done actually. Shots coming in as we see the Lurkers just gonna pull around the rest of the army coming up as well, trying to see what else is going on. Just going to be seeing a couple more Lurkers going down again, so a little bit more damage to go through on that one. Lurkers setting up. Do have the Lurkers and the Lings are going to start making a little bit of a run forward right now, actually. So, coming through right here, making a little bit of a push. I'm just going to be seeing the Corruptors continue to chase those Tempests beginning to go down. Definitely starting to see some additional damage really breaking out from all of this. So, that is continuing to come all the way through as we just see those Corruptors getting chased about. Another ship overhead as well. I mean, this is MaxPax who is still trying to poke around with this army. Serral needs to clean this up. He's got a lot more Hydras on the way. I'm not sure if he is going to clean this up. Hydra's only on the way. The couple Lurkers that have been about have not seemingly been enough, and MaxPax shoving through. He's going to get towards the main of his opponent. We're desperately trying to warp in whatever we can. Lurkers and so on to try and get defense going. Corruptors, of course, spraying down multiple bases. MaxPax has to deal with that. He is going to jump forward. He is going to get rid of these reinforcements. Anything spawning from the main base is not going to come out. And it's going to be GG's as MaxPax has now won back-to-back best-of-5s.